Hello you, welcome to Geekism and welcome to another trailer overview from E3 this year. That is Evil Genius 2. So amongst all the hubbub yesterday of Planet Zoo, there was another game that was shown at E3 that I'm incredibly excited for. Nowhere near as big and famous for the channel as Planet Zoo being, obviously, because Planet Coaster did so well for us. But way back when, if you are a very early watcher of Geekism, you'll know that we did a full playthrough of the first game, Evil Genius. It is now 15 years old, 2004 it came out, but it is absolutely a cult classic, one of the pinnacles of the sort of simulation management genre, kind of like a dungeon keeper kind of game actually as well. It was it went a little bit under the radar during release, but as like I say, caught on with a bit of a cult following years to come, and for what it lacks in sort of nuance in the later game, it makes up for in fantastic humour and feeling and just all round fun. It's just a really fantastic game and well worth picking up if you've got a copy of it anywhere you can get hold of it. It might be on Good Old Games, I'm not 100% sure. Anyway, 15 years later, and Rebellion have now shown us a non-gameplay trailer, just a rendered trailer, teaser trailer, I suppose, of Evil Genius 2. So we're going to go over the trailer, dissect it a little bit. I'm always cautious about dissecting pre-rendered stuff because obviously it's not in-game footage, but there's still stuff we can take into account from here as well. And then also, we've got a couple of other images we're going to have a look at a little bit later on. So here we go. Let's have a look. I've played through the trailer once already. We're going to slow it down a little bit here and pause as we see some stuff that we find interesting, such as we've already gone past loads. Okay, so here we go. Let's use the spacebar instead. So we're looking at an island that we're coming in from, a tropical island very similar to the first island in the original game, and here we have the back of Maximilian, the classic sort of Blofeld style evil genius. He was one of 3 in the original game that you could choose from. He looks like he's one of 4 in this game. None of the other 2 the original games have carried over. It's Maximilian and 3 new ones, but here you can see workers in their sort of classic yellow jumper suits just like the original game, and also you can see some soldiers there as well in the sort of orange and red. Interestingly, you have a female soldier there as well. We get a better shot of her a little bit later on. In the original game, not only were they all male, it was a bit of a sausage fest, Evil Genius, if I'm honest with you. They actually all used the same model as well, 2004, you can imagine. Here it does seem that we're going to have different models, at least the game suggests that, and it does suggest that we're going to be able to have female minions as well. So they all run in, and then through Maximilian's oculus there, his little eye patch, his monocle, we can see some forming of a blueprint. Here, interestingly, we can see stairs and an elevator up to a second floor of blueprints as well. It has been confirmed in the press release as well that we can build on multiple floors. That's a new feature from the original game. Here we're going to be able to build onto multiple floors and have ways of getting up and down. Here, the blueprints, this room very much reminds me of the oh my god, I have a total mental block as to what the original room was called. The control room, that's it, of course, where you actually have to have minions set so they can go out and do world domination schemes. There's satellites on top of these buildings. I think we're underground here, so I'm not too sure what the satellites are meant to be doing, but still, love the art style, looks great. You can see the builders all getting into work there and building it, and eventually here we have a big silo, never quite sure how to pronounce it. The first game ended with you building a huge rocket inside one of these, so it's great to see a little nod there towards it, but we don't get to see just yet what is going on. But here we have a look at some of the workers. These look fantastic. If the in-game ones look anything like these, I think they'll look great. Here we're looking at some sort of barracks, I guess, lots of lockers and training dummies, and it shows you the workers doing various different things. So we've got a fighting one, we've got a sort of stand-up-ish one, we've got one here practicing stealing, and then we've got one here doing a bit of an awesome kick as well. They all look great. And then here we can see the second class of minions, which is security guards. I think they were just called guards in the game, but they very much look like they originally did. And here he grabs onto a thing and gets sent out on a mission. So here's an interesting one. We can see a world map here. Now, I'm going to say that this is most likely just an artist's rendition, okay? Because in the original game, the world was split into various different axes that would come in and infiltrate your base and try the good guys, basically. And these are a little bit different to how they were set up in the original. For instance, here it's got United Kingdom with the same colour as Russia. I'd be really surprised if that's how it was in the game, because for the most part it kind of stuck towards sort of stereotypical political classes and setups. So it was actually sort of North America and Britain and I think Australia were all one, and then you had South America, Africa, and then the sort of Asia and Russia being its own sort of thing. So I'd be interested to see how they actually work them in the game here. Like I say, I'm pretty sure this is just an artist's rendition based on probably based on the map of the first game itself, actually, but I'd be very surprised if the UK is working with Russia. That's more America's job at the minute, right? Ha ha ha, political humour. Here we see some of the minions here stealing from a bank, just like they do in the original one. You have to send your minions out to do missions to bring back gold and artifacts and cool bits of machinery and stuff. And here we get our first shot of a secret agent. One thing I will say, I think she looks fantastic. It's such a gorgeous model. It's also, I'm getting a bit of a sort of Carmen Sandiego kind of vibe, a little bit Indiana Jones, but I think they've done themselves a little bit of a disservice here. I think they would have been much better using the sort of James Bond character here, because there's going to be a lot of people who are coming new to Evil Genius who don't know what the original one was, and I think showing a James Bond-esque character here will have really just very easily, with no words, said to people, you are playing the James Bond bad guy here. Because let's be honest, that's what this game is. You are playing Blofeld, you are playing Goldfinger. That's how this works. And I think they've done themselves a little bit disservice here. But saying that, I still think she does look fantastic. It's a great model. The animation's really, really good. If it's anything, there's a better shot of the female staff there alongside the male one. If the game looks anything as good as it does in this video, I will be more than happy, because I think it's such an awesome art style, really well managed, really well imagined, excuse me. Here we see our first example of traps. Another key part of the original game was to set up traps to catch the special agents as they came in to try and get dirt on you. Now, to be honest with you, I rarely used traps in the original game because you could pretty much just place a few doors and the agent's AI wasn't very good. They would just get lost in between the doors. I'm assuming with 15 years of programming behind them, they're able to make them a little cleverer now, so I think traps are going to be more of an important thing. But here we've got some Resident Evil style lasers, a big old fan that pushes her through the lasers, and this is how you would always have to do them. The lasers would never be enough. The lasers are actually just a red herring to get her to go into the shark tank. Always how it worked. You had to kind of piggyback them off each other in the original game to really get them to do what they needed to do. And then finally we zoom out for this awesome shot of Maximilian taking over the world. The world is not enough for Evil Genius 2 World Domination. You can sign up for a chance to enter the closed beta on the website, which I think it tells you about here. There you go, sign up for a chance to win closed beta access. So we've got a few screenshots to look at as well. So first of all, we have some concept renders. So again, this is all very much like work in progress, concept art, not indicative of what we're going to get in the final game, but still there is stuff we can take on from here to have a look at. Barracks, first of all, is being shown, looking really good. The one thing I'm really excited about this game is I hope, at least from the concept art and what I imagine has developed over the last 15 years, is we're going to get a lot more stuff to place down. Here you can see bookshelves, posters, chalkboard, whiteboards, things like that. In the original game, the only things you could replace down were very sort of serviceable items. In fact, the barracks was pretty much just beds and lockers. That was it. There was some equipment, workout equipment, and obviously you could place down your artifacts around the place to give off little buffs and stuff. But I just love the idea of all this sort of flavour stuff. You know, here you can see the rolled up mats and the bookcases and stuff. I hope we see some of that come to the game as well. Next room is the brainwashing room. This I don't think was in the original game, but I guess it's the idea of just being able to either level up your minions and get them very sort of loyal, or you could, what I think we're looking at here is there's a special agent in there who's being brainwashed into forgetting why he's there, or maybe even turning him over to being one of your minions. There was in the original game there was minions, that's just sort of regular class of people, but then there was also henchmen, these super strong ones that you could actually move around specifically and tell them to go and do stuff. So maybe it's a way of turning special agents into those. And then the super serum, I assume, for turning guards into higher level ones. I think this is awesome. Bit of a nod to Captain America. I love the fact that it's just poured down his throat. I think that's amazing. One of my favourite bits of the original game was the fantastic animations with all of these the machinery and stuff, especially when they used some of the machinery as torture devices. The animations were really, really good. Here we see a video game machine. This is most likely something for getting your minions to relieve their sort of stress levels. I'm pretty sure the original game had arcade machines and ping pong tables, I have a feeling. Again, I really can't remember. It's been so long since I played it. I'm definitely going to go back and look at it after seeing this today. But one thing I love is this aesthetic, this sort of 60s Art Deco. It's very classic Bond. Somebody pointed out to me it's very similar to Incredibles, and I think that's a great way of looking at it. A very Incredibles style to it. Again, that sort of Art Nouveau sort of 60s style fits perfectly. And then a few renders of a couple of the traps. So again, here are your traps. You can place them down, you can piggyback them, join them together, set them off through different methods. We have an awesome fan that will blow people into some laser beams. And if the laser beams don't get them, the magnet can come and pull them in, which I assume does the opposite of a fan. Really exciting to see. Pinball bumpers, these ways of like knocking people around into new stuff, I guess. And there's a shark tank trap. I don't remember there being a shark tank in the original game, so that's a good new one. But there may be, I may just have forgot. And then also this crazy Venus spy trap, they call it, for gobbling them up at the end of the trap run, I guess. We've also got some promo art of the evil geniuses. Genocide? I'm not too sure. This one is Hillary Clinton, I guess. We've also got, of course, Maximilian, the classic from the original game, the Blofeld style. And then we have this sort of Russian-looking kind of army Sergei guy. There was a henchman very similar to this guy. Maybe he's leveled up and now he's an evil genius. And then finally, the last off the Big Bang Theory, again some sort of like sci-fi techie kind of movement. I guess, as the game develops, as the years pass, they've got to try and find ones that fit into the sort of zeitgeist of the time. So sort of tech giant turned evil fits quite nicely, and of course nice to see 2 males and 2 females. There's going to be a choice of who to play as, probably all having different perks and stuff. And the last thing to take a look at then is, again, I still think this might be a render, but it is in the press kit under a folder called Screenshots, and that is this image here. Again, I'm not too sure if this is a screenshot. God, the game is gorgeous, but I do feel like this may still be a render, as an artist's impression of what a screenshot may be. In fact, looking at it a little closer now, I'm pretty sure that's exactly what it is. But still, it gives us a great idea as to what we're looking at here. In the original game, you could build hotels outside of your base that would occupy tourists that wander onto the island, and also your special agents, the James Bond styles, would go off there and have a martini shaken, not stirred, and all that kind of thing. Here, which I think is a lot better, it's actually the front of the base is the hotel, and actually through a couple of heavily guarded doors, you head into your base, and that's a much better idea, much more realistic, and probably much more fun as well, to stop people snooping through certain doors, because the problem with the hotels was, often than not, you'd build them out of the way and kind of forget about them, to be honest, and your valets, which is a member of staff, would wander over there and just serve drinks, and you wouldn't really have to worry about it much. Here, there's always going to be that presence of having people just the other side of the wall. Again, loads of different stuff to look at here. There looks like there's going to be a table there that sort of the world powers can sit around, just like in the first one. That was the first major mission, was to get the world powers to come and sit at your table. And then we're also looking at some training rooms for those things, some shooting ranges, some martial arts kind of combat areas. Stairs going there now into a lower level, again confirming that we've got multiple levels, and then a few other rooms. Can't really see what's going on. Maybe that's a locker room over there, and then down the bottom here we've got a big control room, again looking gorgeous, loads of detail there in the machines. And again, satellite dishes underground? I don't get it. This isn't an open air base. This is, it's been cut off here so we can see how to play. This is meant to be built into the side of a mountain, so I'm not too sure what satellite dishes are doing, but even still, they look awesome. I am so excited for this one, folks. Maybe a little bit more excited than Planet Zoo, if I'm totally honest with you. Evil Genius was such a big part of my childhood. I play it regularly every couple of years. I work myself through the campaign again. I'm hoping this one brings a lot of new features, such as some variable campaigns maybe. It does say that there are possibly hundreds of missions, which makes me think they might be procedurally generated, which I think would be perfect, and also a sandbox mode would be great as well, there only being the campaign to play on the original. But again, as soon as stuff comes out, the game isn't coming out till 2020, there may well be some more stuff at E3. One of the press releases suggests there may be more at E3, so if there is, I will be reporting on it. If not, we will be looking at this through the year. Hopefully we'll get hold of the beta as well. Yeah, really excited for this one. Keep it here for more Evil Genius 2. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, you can give us a like. It really does help out the channel. If you're new here and you've just found us based off this video, welcome. Please subscribe for lots more. Before Evil Genius 2, there's loads more sort of simulation management games coming. Planet Zoo, loads of others actually. It's going to be a really good year for it. Settlers and all that sort of stuff. Ancient Cities hopefully as well this year. We'll be covering them all here on the channel, so don't forget to subscribe. Any thoughts, queries, suggestions, you can pop them all down in the comments. If you fancy a chat, you can find me on Twitter. I'm at Jonty Sparrow. If you'd like to join in with the Geekism community, you can do so over on our Geekism Discord server. You'll find the link for that in the description. Thank you to all of our patrons. They make these videos possible through their generous support at patreon.com/geekism. And don't forget to check out our affiliate links. Get yourself some cheap games and other goodies while supporting the channel at the same time. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.